In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of Iranian in English News with me, Nima Chitsas. President Hassan Rouhani has opened 4 major energy projects in Tehran province surrounding the capital Tehran, as his government launches an ambitious plan to finish over $3 billion worth of similar projects until the end of the current calendar year in March 2021. Speaking via video conference on Thursday, President Rouhani ordered the opening of 1 power plant and 3 sewage treatment facilities in 4 cities near the capital. The projects had costed around $175 million, adding construction for them had been financed by both the government and the private sector. While opening a new steam unit and Parand power plant located to the southwest of Tehran, President Rouhani said Iran could benefit from turning its gas-fired power plants to the so-called combined cycle systems, where the steam is raised through using the exhaust heat from the combustion turbines. He said the government would compensate any private sector investor launching a combined cycle power plant through supplying free natural gas in the early years of operation. Also on Thursday, President Rouhani ordered the opening of 3 major sewage treatment facilities in Islamshah, Malard, and Safodesht cities located to the west and south of Tehran. He said his government will finish $3 billion worth of similar energy projects until March 2021, when the current Persian calendar year comes to its end. The head of Iran's Health Ministry's Public Relations Office said on Thursday that 77,995 people have been infected with the coronavirus, the COVID-19, 4,869 of whom have lost their lives. Kianush Jahanpur said 1,606 new cases of infection have been detected since Wednesday. He added 52,229 patients have recovered from the virus. Jahanpur pointed to the latest statistics on the coronavirus in the country and said smart distancing plan will be put into operation in Tehran province on Saturday. Meantime, biological and environmental defense exercise of the IRGC's 27th Infantry Division was held on Thursday afternoon in the Iranian capital city of Tehran.
To minimize the spread of the coronavirus, hospitals, markets, neighborhoods, transportation and public places are the focus of continuous sanitization operations by authorities in the Iranian capital, Tehran. Every day, they carry out disinfection and cleaning operations in 24 districts, using mist, cannon trucks and sprinklers. Waste collection and transfer stations, waste disposal sites and public toilets are also being sanitized and cleaned.
One of the most effective ways to fight the spread of the virus is to disinfect high-touch surfaces in the streets. Our disinfection teams have descended upon buildings, markets, and underground train stations. They are spraying low-concentration bleach and water mixtures from trucks, guns, and drones. We will carry out our duties until the city returns to normal.
There has been a drop in the number of new cases in Iran, but authorities say they will continue to fight the pandemic like before, as there are concerns about a new wave of infections. The country has also ramped up the production of personal protective equipment, such as masks, protective suits, disinfectants, and hand wash. Authorities say they will need public support, although disinfecting surfaces that are commonly touched can help kill germs.
Nearly 1,000 Basij volunteer forces, 11 companies and 24 municipalities are taking part in the citywide sanitation operations. They will sanitize all public places for the next 24 hours. This was only possible with the much-needed help of our armed forces.
Disinfecting surfaces that are commonly touched, such as in hospitals, markets and public transport, can help kill germs. However, the virus may persist on surfaces for up to several days. That is why basic measures like washing your hands, avoiding touching your face, and staying away from sick people are the best ways to protect yourself and to help us.
Iran has managed to dampen the rate of confirmed cases, while slowly edging out from the lockdown and returning to work. That, of course, with safety precautions.
The government says it's important to strike a balance between curbing the spread of the virus and getting the economy back on track. It maintains that the objective is to protect public lives and health from both the virus and its socioeconomic consequences. Haman Nadiri, Press TV, Tehran.
Head of Iran's judiciary system urges observing justice and healthcare system. In a meeting with members of the Supreme Council of the Nursing System, Hujjatul Islam wal Muslimin Ibrahim Raisi tasked the inspection organization of the country to prepare a report regarding the negligence of nurses' rights in order for the country's administrative justice to act for the restoration of the nurses' rights. The Chief of Staff of Iran's armed forces said army forces of the country showed excellent performance in the fight against coronavirus. In a meeting with the commander of Iran's army, Major General Sayyid Abdurrahim Mousavi, on Thursday, Major General Mohammad Bagheri congratulated the Army Day and said Iran's army is performing its missions more reliable and efficiently under the guidelines of leader of the Islamic Revolution. Turning to the outbreak of coronavirus in the country, Bagheri stated, in the early days of the outbreak, the Army forces outshined in its mission spontaneously, even at the mission that had not been defined, and managed to render considerable services to the noble nation of Islamic Iran at hospitals, roads, different cities, and care centers. For his part, Commander of Iran's army said Army's healthcare and treatment capacities for offering relief services to the coronavirus combat and prevention headquarters will be at the service of the noble nation of Islamic Iran. Major General Mousavi said after the outbreak of the coronavirus in China, the army forces took drastic measures and prepared its necessary facilities to offer quality medical services to the people. Elsewhere, Chief Commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, said the IRGC and army forces of the country do not hesitate in strengthening deterrence and authority of the country. In a statement on the occasion of Army Day on April 17, Major General Hossein Salami said, despite enemies' animosity waged against the Islamic Republic of Iran, IRGC and army forces of the country have joined their hands together and will not hesitate in strengthening all-out deterrence and authority components of the country. He congratulated the auspicious occasion to the commander of Iran's army, Major General Mousavi. Salami termed IRGC and army of the country as a united front of the Islamic Iran in the fight against the global arrogance. The coronavirus COVID-19 is affecting 210 countries and territories around the world. So far, 2,145,512 people have been infected with the coronavirus, out of which 144,061 cases lost their lives and 545,137 people have fortunately recovered. However, the rising number of corona cases in European states has made officials to extend restrictions. In France, the active cases of coronavirus stands at 147,863, and 17,167 people have lost their lives. In Germany, Chancellor Angela Merkel has extended the compulsory quarantine till May 3rd. At present, there are 135,663 corona cases in Germany. In Britain, the health minister has said restrictions will be extended at least for another 3 weeks. Britain has 103,093 active corona cases, out of which 13,729 people have died. In the United States, there are 667,572 active coronavirus cases and 33,903 people have succumbed to the deadly virus. The Director General of the World Health Organization, WHO, has expressed regret over the U.S. President's decision to cut funding to the body at the time of the new coronavirus pandemic. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said, "This is a time for all of us to be united in our common struggle against a common threat. When we are divided, the coronavirus exploits the cracks between us." He also reiterated that the UN body is reviewing the possible impacts of the U.S. President Donald Trump's decision, adding the organization would work with its partners to fill any financial gaps and to ensure its activities will continue uninterrupted. Tedros' comments come a day after Trump announced the U.S. would halt its financial support of the World Health Organization. Saudi jets have targeted a number of areas across Yemen overnight despite a so-called ceasefire that the Riyadh-led coalition of aggressors has announced itself. Yemen's Al Masirah TV network said the warplanes bombarded Wadi Dhahar area of the Hamdan district in the capital Sana'a, as well as an area close to its hospital 3 times in the early hours of Thursday. It added Saudi fighter jets carried out airstrikes against Arush and Watda areas of Khawlan district in Sana'a province. The strikes also targeted Madgal city in the center province of Marib, as well as Harif Sufyan city in Amran province 2 times. The airstrikes come despite claims by the invaders that they were halting military operations in support of the United Nations peace efforts and to avoid further spread of the new coronavirus in Yemen. The Yemeni army, however, reported days afterwards that it had been forced to repel several Saudi-led assaults on various fronts in just 1 day. Yemen's Ansarullah movement has dismissed the ceasefire claim as false and misleading, saying the Saudi-led coalition had even escalated their offensives against Yemen. Russia says a recent report by the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW, on a series of toxic attacks in western Syria is a repetition of baseless accusations earlier leveled by certain states and has been prepared with malicious intent. Last Wednesday, the OPCW released an 82-page report claiming Syrian government forces had been responsible for the alleged chemical attacks on the terrorist-held town of Latamina in Hama during the last week of March 2017 that affected scores of people. Russia's permanent representative to the United Nations said on Wednesday the recent report by the OPCW's investigation and identification team, the IIT, about Syria clearly indicated that the IIT seeks to whitewash the illegal acts of aggression against Syria in April 2017 and 2018. During a closed video teleconference of the UN Security Council on Syria's chemical dossier, Vasily Nebenzia said, as expected, instead of conducting a serious investigative work, this team of the so-called experts merely reduced themselves to echoing baseless accusations produced by some states, adding, although we should not be surprised, given the recent revelations and the methods of work of the OPCW Technical Secretariat. And that's a wrap for now. Join us tomorrow with the latest updates. Till then, take care and have a very great time. Goodbye now.